Have you ever felt like your job is great and all, but you just have this gut feeling you're meant for more? Or when you think about trying to take things up in your career a notch or two, you just really don't know where to start. If you're the kind of person who doesn't want just a job, but a career that you really love, today's episode is going to be perfect for you. It's all about how to take your career to the next level starting today. If you're new to my channel, I'm Dr. Dawn, CEO and founder of Dr. Dawn Shop Talk. We're a career consulting company that's all about helping professional women not only take their career to the next level, but help them find more joy from their work, build their brand so that they can really live their life with passion and purpose. If tips like these sound like it's right up your alley, be sure to give our video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. I drop a new episode on Monday so you can start your week off on the right foot. All right, you guys, let's get to it. Let's get to today's episode. One of the most exciting things about exploring the option of taking your career to the next level is the realization that your boss is not in charge of your career. You are. You're ultimately the boss because you're responsible for your own career happiness and how well you do at your job. So much of that is actually in your control. And if you want some more tips on what's actually in your control during your workday, I'll put some other links to episodes in the description bar below, so be sure to check that out. Now, let's make sure that you're tapping into your own personal power so you can make this happen. So let's get started with some strategies. I'm going to share 4 of my favorite strategies on how to help you start taking your career to the next level right now. Starting with strategy number 1 is to look at your job description. That's right. You heard me right. It may have been years since you've actually looked at your job description, but you need to pull that out. Go ahead and take a look at that. Ask HR if you didn't keep a copy. Ask HR for this, you guys, because it's really an exciting practice. The reason it is when you look at that job description, you're going to go back to the excitement you felt when you first applied for that job. And that first week you were there at the job, you're going to kind of tap into that enthusiasm that you might have lost along the way. Not only that, you're going to be able to figure out if you're really measuring up to what that job description is. So that's a great exercise, a wonderful strategy. Go ahead and check out that job description and ask yourself, am I measuring up? All right, strategy number 2. It's what I'm calling on-demand skill sets. So on this one, I want you to start by asking yourself 2 questions. Number 1, is there a skill set that all of your coworkers, your colleagues, and your supervisor depend on from you? And number 2, is there a new skill set that your organization really, really needs? All right, let's start with that first question. In other words, are you the go-to person on some skill sets in your office? Maybe you're the person who knows exactly how to organize everything for the board meeting. You know how to reserve the conference room. You know what local caterers to use to have food brought in, all those kinds of things. Or maybe you are absolutely incredible when it comes to creating a chart or a graph. And if somebody sends you some data, you can pretty it up for them and have it ready for the next presentation. Really think about the skill sets you bring to the table. And if you're not that go-to person, it's not too late. You really need to think about showcasing some skills that you have. You might be the kind of person who's so good at making introductions that you're kind of that networking person. That's another skill set and often overlooked, that you know so many people because you've been in the industry for so long that you can make those connections happen. So really think about what you bring to the table and make sure you're bringing that to the forefront. Keep this in mind also. When you're ready to take your career to the next level, it's going to be really tough for folks who have the power to make that happen to think about taking your career to the next level if they don't believe that you're excelling at your current position right now. So you make sure you're doing that. And a really easy strategy to make sure you're accomplishing that is to start thinking about your current position as your dream job. Start treating your job right now as the dream job, and amazing things will happen. You guys, I believe in the dream job mindset so much. I've got several episodes about that. So I'll be sure to include that here and also in the description bar below. But it's very important, again, for people to see that you're excelling at your current job before they can even consider you for that next position in the organization. So be sure to check those episodes out and really think about ways that you can showcase your skill set. Okay, moving on to that second question. Is there a skill set that your organization really needs? I want you to think back to the beginning of the pandemic when everyone was just getting used to using virtual platforms. Sure, there are some careers and industries that have been working remotely for many, many years, but that certainly wasn't the case for everyone. So think about this. Do you remember when Zoom first came out and people didn't even know what the word Zoom was? Zoom, what on earth is that, right? If you were the person who had taken advantage of that and gotten on YouTube and watched every YouTube tutorial about how to use Zoom, you probably quickly became the Zoom expert in your organization. So when people started to ask, what? I can actually change my virtual background. How do you do that? You could help them with that. You could help them realize, what is this thing, the chat box? What are they talking about, right? All those kinds of things that now we're so used to and comfortable with. But I still remember when we would get these Zoom links and it would show up on our calendar and we would click on it. And we weren't really sure, how to check to see if everyone was attending the meeting. Oh, that participation. Oh, here's the list of participants. Okay, we can kind of check roll, right? So all of those kinds of things were brand new to many of us. So think about that. You can still become the go-to person and learn a new skill set that's going to help your organization. Maybe they're still struggling with virtual platforms. Maybe you can be the expert on go-to meetings or those kinds of things. Whatever the case may be, whatever virtual platform your organization is using, that's great. But maybe there's another skill set right now that your industry really needs. So again, get your hands on every article written. Go watch those YouTube tutorials about that skill set. Listen to a podcast. Go to Audible, listen to a book on tape, or go to the library and get the old-fashioned book and learn a new skill set so that you can really help your organization. Again, the first step really in taking your career to the next level is to make sure you're in a great position to do so. And these tips alone are going to help you get there. Strategy number 3. Have you thought about mentoring someone? This is such an important skill and sometimes overlooked. Think about this. If you're getting ready to want to take your career to the next level, and you're going to need that position approved, right? The powers that be are going to have to make sure that there's a position open for you at that next level in your organization. But again, before they can even consider that, they're often looking at your leadership skills. There is no better way to prove your leadership than mentoring someone, because you're going to show firsthand that you can motivate people, that you can bring teams together, that you can build relationships, and that you can build trust, and that you can inspire people to bring out their best talents. All of those skills are really necessary for you to take your career to the next level. So really think about mentorship. And here's another thing I want you to think about. I've been in management for many years, and I bet several of you watching this show have been, okay? Whether you've been in management or not, oftentimes when you're in management, especially for the first time, it's sad to say this, but organizations are not always great about training you on how to be a manager. Let me tell you what they do train you on. They're going to train you on HR policy, okay? They're going to train you on perhaps how to write an interview question, and those things are great. But oftentimes, that day-to-day management of how really to make sure that you are knowledgeable about what's going on in your department without micromanaging, all those subtle ways that you can make sure that your department is doing a great job, but without actually having to kind of like breathe down the neck of your staff. If you're not careful, you can demoralize people. You can cause problems that don't even need to be there. So if you've never been in management before, by the way, guys, I do have episodes about that. So check that out. I'll put that here and in the description bar below. But whatever the case may be, you really need to think about showcasing your leadership skills. And here's another problem with management. Oftentimes, people think that if you're an expert in your industry, you're going to be an awesome manager. That is definitely not the case. Have you ever known someone that you know is an expert in their industry? Then they get promoted to management, okay? They get promoted as a supervisor. and they're terrible. They are absolutely terrible. There are some people, I know you know what I'm talking about out there. Aren't there some people that really do not need to be in charge of managing anybody? They're just awful at it. Their communication style is terrible. They come across as either blowhards or total dictators, or they say they're not a micromanager, and that should be a sign because if you say it, you probably are, right? All those kinds of things. And instead of inspiring people to be their best, instead of empowering their staff to bring their A game, guess what happens? That staff feels like not working very hard because what's the point? They get demoralized pretty quickly. Absenteeism goes up, productivity goes down, people start leaving their department. We know that. We know those managers that can't seem to keep people very long in their department. And there's a reason. And I would like to say it's not oftentimes the manager's fault. They just really don't get that training. Maybe the training just doesn't exist, or the company doesn't think it exists. They don't look for a corporate trainer that could help them in that. If you are looking for corporate training, do me a favor, please, please do not just get someone from your industry, get someone who knows how to get people to work together, how to build trust, those kinds of things. So sometimes you actually have to step outside of your industry to find someone who can help with that. Now, I'm not just saying that because Shop Talk offers corporate training. I'm not just saying that because of my business. I'm saying that because I've seen that mistake made. And that's where you could come in. You could show your organization that you have the ability to do that, or you know someone who does, and you could bring that person on board to help with that training. So really think about that. And if you're the one responsible for it, that type of success could be your way to take your career to the next level. Okay, you guys, strategy number four. Strategy number four is all about making someone's job easier. Now, I'm not talking about your boss here. Yeah, everybody knows that if you're doing really well at your job, you should, in essence, be making your boss's job easier. Because if you're running your department well, or you're doing your job well, whether you're in management or not, that is definitely going to make the boss's job easier, right? Because they're not going to have to come up behind you and clear up those messes. If they have to do their job and your job too, they really don't need you, right? And we know you're needed. We know that by you even watching this video, I'm going to go ahead and presume that you're interested in doing your best in your career. So you can do that. You just need the power to do it, and you need these kinds of strategies. So although it's great to help your boss by making their job easier, sometimes there's less opportunity to do that, okay? You know that you can help them by doing your job well. We know that. But oftentimes your boss might be spread pretty thin, might be gone in many cases for just various things, right? So maybe it's harder to actually get to the boss to really make that impact. But your coworkers and your colleagues, they're much more available to you. And oftentimes they're the ones doing the work down in the trenches, so to speak. They're right there with you. They're doing the day-to-day work. And if you guys do your job well, then the boss is freed up to take care of some of those big picture goals and to make sure that the organization is moving forward. So think of it that way. Think about the fact that your coworkers and colleagues are more available to you. And if you can help them, you see they're struggling in some area and you offer to help, it's going to be a win-win. Because unless they're a monster, they're going to return the favor when you're really in a bind and you need that help. So really think about making somebody's job easier right there in your division, right there in your organization. And I promise you, it's going to help you take your career to the next level because you're going to be building that skill set. You're going to be building teamwork. You're going to definitely be increasing productivity for your organization. And you're going to feel really great about helping someone. Do you know that the number one reason why people leave their job is because of either a difficult boss or coworker? I've mentioned that in other episodes. I'll be sure to include that here. And I'm also going to be talking in future episodes on how to actually work with difficult bosses and difficult coworkers. So we'll get into more detail about that later. But for now, just realize that if you can make a coworker or colleague's job easier and they do the same for you, you're definitely going to be happier at your job. As a result, you'll feel more passionate about your work. And that's what we're all about here at Shop Talk. I want to show you strategies that are going to help you get more joy from your work and help you feel like you're valued and getting recognized for your contribution. That is just so important. Nobody wants to be miserable at their job. It will definitely spill over into your personal life. And that's what I want to avoid by having this YouTube channel. All right, I've got one more bonus strategy for you. It's actually a bonus question. And here it is. Ask yourself this: what have I done lately to make this happen? In other words, what have I done to try to take my career to the next level? You need to think about what you're doing right now and what you can do. And these 4 strategies I shared with you, you can easily put these in place. So make a decision right now to put at least 1 to 2 of these strategies in place this week. And then comment, let me know how it goes. I would love to get that feedback from you guys. And also feel free to comment if you've got other questions about how to take your career to the next level. These are just 4 of my favorite strategies. I'm more than happy to share some others with you. So be sure to let me know in your comments. Now, also, we've talked about other issues that can get in your way of success in your career. So I'm going to go ahead and show you those videos right here and in the description box. So be sure to check those out and I will see you over there. And don't forget, you don't have to take this journey alone. I would love to help you. Reach out to me anytime, you guys. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next episode. Take care.